Billy was everything Julian wanted to be. Is that not true? Because let me tell you, if the tables were turned, your brother would have found your killer and brought me his head on a fucking platter. And you just sit there thinking he got what he deserved.
And welcome to another episode of Down to Watch, the podcast that asks, are you down to watch? I'm your host, Kahmeela, and we are here to talk about movies and music and TV and pop culture and all that kind of good stuff. Basically, I choose movies that I want to watch or otherwise, and, you know, we try to stick it to a theme. The theme currently is Ryan Gosling. This is the Hey Girl edition, and joining me to help me get through this is my friend and co-host from Revisiting Sunnydale, Marcella.
Hello, everyone.
You can follow and listen to Down to Watch on Anchor.fm and Spotify. And if you do that, plays on those platforms really help to support the podcast. I kind of get paid for it a little bit. It's not much, but it helps to keep the show going.
Right? Every little penny helps.
Exactly. So feel free to just go forth. Anchor.fm and Spotify and play. This is episode 67, and today's topic is Only God Forgives.
He sure does.
Because he's the only one that's going to forgive for this movie. I am unforgiving.
I am so unforgiving.
So, all right. Warning, there's going to be spoilers, but Only God Forgives came out in 2013, and also, I don't know if if we're actually spoiling anything. Like,
is there anything to spoil?
Right. So,
like, the number one thing about this movie you guys need to know is Ryan has 17 lines of dialogue.
Yes.
That's all.
That's it. That's all.
And it was made by the same dude he did Drive with, and yes. I want to punch them both.
So, the summary: Julian, a drug smuggler thriving in Bangkok's criminal underworld, sees his life get even more complicated when his mother compels him to find and kill whoever is responsible for his brother's recent death. Directed and written by Nicholas Winding Refn, starring Ryan Gosling, Kristen Scott Thomas, and Vathaya Pansamgeem.
Good on you for even trying.
I apologize greatly, sir, for really butchering your name. That was terrible. So if you want to know who was in this movie, go to IMDb and look it up. Because I have no idea how to pronounce this man's name. Our history with the movie. I saw it. I tried to watch it years ago when it first came on DVD or whatever, and I know I fell asleep because I didn't remember a lot about it at all, and I didn't care to go back to it. But yeah, here we are.
The thing about it, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, beautifully shot.
Absolutely.
Wonderful cinematography.
Just like Drive.
But guess what? That's not enough.
It doesn't mean anything. It's like a student film with a really big budget. Mm-hmm. It's so many, like, yes, the things that the plot summaries say happened.
That's so funny because I watched the whole damn thing and then went to Wikipedia just to read the plot summary because I was like, I don't know what's happening.
Now, were you actually watching or were you doing something else when you were watching
I was pretty much watching. I mean, I had it on. I was working, but I had it on and I was paying attention. And I was like, this is, by the time we got to the end, I was like, okay, we need to move this along a little bit.
Yeah.
Like,
I had to do some fast forwarding because like there are 3 scenes of like karaoke
for no damn reason.
For no reason whatsoever. And it's not even like it's there for, I don't know why it's there. I don't understand why it's there. It's like the main guy, the boss head or whatever. He is singing. He likes to do karaoke, and it's just a very solemn and just stark. And he's just standing there singing while there's
beautiful voice.
Yeah, but while there's, I'm assuming, I don't know if these people are paid to be there by him because nobody's reacting. It's just all very quiet, and as they watch him, and Chang.
Well, I was very
Chang
confused at first and had to go back because right off the bat, I was like, wait, is he a cop?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
And I'm like, wait, did you just tell this dude? So at the very beginning of the movie, apparently Julian's brother rapes and kills a prostitute.
16-year-old prostitute.
Yeah, it's bad. This is bad stuff. Not good.
Right.
And the cop goes to the prostitute's dad and he's like, you gonna let that happen?
Right.
What you gonna do about that?
Right.
And he's like, well, I'm gonna kill him.
Right. He's like, do what you want.
Do.
And I think he gives him, doesn't he give him the weapon, the murder weapon?
He's like, yeah, do what you want. Take your revenge. And then he's like, oh, but you gotta now what you do? What'd you do that for?
It's like,
and that's when I got lost. I was like, wait, he's a cop? But didn't he just tell him to go do that? And now you're gonna cut my man's hand off?
Right. I'm not even sure if he actually is a cop or if he just has the cops in his pocket. Like if he's just.
Oh no, his character's name is Lieutenant Chang.
Oh, okay. Well, there it is.
He's a cop.
All right.
Right? Now it puts the whole movie in a different perspective.
Yeah. Now I really have no idea what I just watched.
I also know that I am crossing Bangkok off my to-do list. Not a place I need to go.
No.
If that's how the cops act, if there's any smidgen of truth to how culturally this area. And there's also a lot of weird, Wikipedia like to call it sexual deviation.
Yeah.
Deviant behavior.
A lot of
on Ryan's part.
a lot of Oedipal type behaviors, like Oedipus complex kind of thing happening. Like there's
it made me think of the Paperboy.
I've blocked that. I remember it, but most of it has been blocked from my memory. I don't even think I finished watching that movie.
I just remember that's how the Paperboy went.
Yeah.
But that scene with him and the girl and him being tied to the chair, and I was just like, ew.
I mean, and there were several. So I mean, there's like a couple of things going on there where like Ryan, I'm assuming, she's a prostitute as well, or she calls herself an entertainer because it's a little bit more than just prostitution or it's a little bit more. I don't know.
Julian's mother called her a cum dumpster.
Yeah, we'll get back to that.
At dinner.
She's a delight. But yeah, so there's a lot of this stuff like Ryan's not actually having sex, or Julian's not actually having sex with Mai, I think is her name, but there's his hand goes up her skirt on a couple different occasions, and then like that's really for some reason that's important. I don't know why. But then at the end when his mom is dead, like already dead when he finds her, he comes in and pokes her with his sword anyway, like stabs her again, and then he sticks his hand inside the wound in her stomach. And I can only imagine, I don't know what kind of psychological unpacking is supposed to be done there.
So the Prime, I watched it on Prime.
Same.
And Prime has that lovely little X-ray trivia thing. And because it was that scene that I was starting to skip forward 10 seconds at a time. I was like, you're just standing there looking at her and you're not even saying anything. So then I noticed that one of the trivia remarks was that it was Ryan's idea to cut open her stomach and stick his hand in the wound to see if she had anything in her uterus. I don't know why. Okay, sure.
To see if she had anything in her uterus. To feel
around in her uterus, yes. Mm-hmm. I don't.
Such a strange movie. I don't.
Because they asked him, do you think Julian would cry or laugh at finding his dead mother?
Oh, God.
And Ryan's answer was, I think he'd cut her open and feel around in her uterus. So he cut her open and felt around in her uterus. That's weird.
Think he would laugh or cry? Why? Why couldn't he just turn around and walk away? Like, I would have been fine with just like indifference.
Right?
that would have made more sense to me than.
And then it said something about Ryan taking Muay Thai classes for a really
For
long
what?
time. For what? You got your ass beat.
Right? Like his ass was handed to him. Like he landed not one punch in
Not
that
one.
scene. It was a great scene.
Yeah.
Like I absolutely loved it. From the musical score to the sets and everything, even the fight choreography. Like he got his ass handed to him. So yeah, why would you train for that?
to be able to defend? You didn't even do that.
Right.
Like,
it was for what?
okay. That was some wasted time on your part.
Yeah, and the cum numpster line, apparently Ryan came up with that. like the director one late night asked him like what's some of the worst, to come up with a list of like the worst things you could call a woman, and that was the top of the list. Cool.
It's pretty bad.
it's pretty
I was
gross.
just like, at dinner? You just called her that at the dinner table?
We haven't even had drinks yet. I'm gonna need you to come back.
And then to add insult to injury, you gonna make me take my dress off in the street?
Wow. Yeah.
This is just a bad night for Mai. Like she should have just stayed home.
Exactly. This is just the dinner scene was way too much over the top. Like Kristen Scott Thomas, like I give it to her. I'm assuming, I guess she's a dame, but I don't really have a lot of reference for her. Like she's another one of those, blonde older white women. I'm sure she was very popular in the 80s and 90s. I don't know, but
she was in The English Patient. And she bored the shit out of me, so I kind of like crossed her off my list.
Yeah, no, thank you. But she played the hell out of this role.
She sure did. She looked great too.
Yeah, I absolutely hated this character. Like with everything, like she was just human hot garbage.
She lied to everyone.
Like
I thought she was like, "Oh, Ryan, come home. I'll be a mom to you." He killed everybody.
Right.
Did you guys know he killed everybody?
And then way back when, like 20 years ago, he killed his father too. Like it wasn't even
because she
here.
asked him to.
Right. It's just gonna like
hot garbage.
What's the fucking point? And then, and also at dinner, the whole he was jealous of his brother because his cock was bigger.
Yes.
What?
This isn't dinner talk. What? This isn't mother talk or dinner talk.
At no point should you have ever, no. At no point does a mother say that.
No. And if she does, she's a bad mom.
Yeah. There was one, and I guess there was another scene. Was it after dinner or no? It was like I think the day like before dinner. But another Julian has another visit with Mai at her place of work, and it's intercuts with a scene with his mom in the audience watching something, and it looked like for a second, like I looked away and I looked back. It looked like she was watching them.
I thought she was too, and I started to scream. I was like, "Why?" And then it cut to what she was watching. I'm like, she's watching men in diapers dance around. What is happening? Is this also at the same club?
What I read in the trivia was that Bangkok apparently is like Disneyland during the day, but at night you don't want to be around.
I'm not sure I even want to be around during the day. No, but Lieutenant Chang bought zero of her bullshit.
I'm glad she got what she got when she got it.
But it was funny because he was just like, no.
Right.
That sword out. She was just like, ooh.
Yeah, it was pretty great. Yeah, she didn't know he was there, and she's spinning her tale of woe and misery, and then he comes around the corner. She's like, oh, shit.
And the cop that's with him is just like,
Yep. There were so many unnecessary scenes in this movie. There's like
the 30 people that get killed at the shootout trying to kill Lieutenant Chang.
Why 4? Because we never really get back to that. And then he catches the one dude, throws hot oil in his face, and then goes and finds the dude who sent him, and then murders that. Like,
that was the most realistic foot chase ever. They both were so slow, like they were huffing him. But he was just like, "I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you." And then there's the whole scene where Lieutenant Chang, like, I guess Julian's following him throughout the streets of the marketplace, and then just disappears. Like magic. He's just gone.
Yeah. And I must have missed it, but I don't know. I mean, I loved the scene because this is some pretty awesome cinematic violence. But when Brian attacks the dude asks about the whiskey at the bar, then
it's just like, why are you beating that guy up?
It's like there was nothing that led up to it, and we heard nothing more about it later.
Nope. No, because I think that was right after that scene he found out about his brother being dead. And he had to put together like the guy that killed his brother dying, I think it was. And he was like, when did that happen?
Right.
Yesterday.
Got it.
He just kind of nods like,
There is so much staring in this movie.
Staring.
Like,
you spent so much on cinematography, and did you have a screenwriter, or was it just late nights with some whiskey and a pen?
I think that's basically what it was. Like, in my imagination, it's that, Nicholas, he had all these great shots. Like, he took a trip to Bangkok or something and saw all the stuff that he wanted to film. And he was like, yes. And he spent all this time storyboarding and putting together all of these beautiful shots and was like, well, I don't know what the story is going to be that I'm going to tell. What
Right. I read that it received very mixed reviews when it premiered at Cannes.
I heard it was booed, is what I read.
It was booed. It received a standing ovation and was booed by critics. Like these are like, professionals.
Like in the same,
I can't see.
In the same viewing, or was it
in
like
the same viewing? It got a standing ovation and people were booing.
And that makes sense to me. That it's just like it would be like it's an indefinite like split. Like either on the one side you're like, oh my god, that's just brilliance, the cinematic, blah blah blah, and I get all of the undertones and I understand what Nicholas and where he's trying to say and where Julian was going in his life, and then on the other hand there's us where it's like trash, boo.
I'm in the back like the lady in Princess Bride, boo. I'm so mad. I feel like we're in Ryan's dark period. Like everything I've watched, I've hated pretty much. He went through an artsy fartsy period.
Right. But not even in a good way, because you could argue that his earlier stuff like Lars and the Real Girl, or like, I forget, there was another one with like the little girl, Naomi Watts. And there was a couple other, United States of Leland. Those were definitely like
teacher, the drug addict teacher. What was that one?
Half Nelson.
Yeah,
definitely artsy fartsy, but good. They had stories to tell,
and I missed that. I came along in the slump.
Yeah, which we were saying beforehand. I was thinking I probably should have done these in alphabetical order instead of chronological, because now we're like in this hot heap of trash.
Hot, wet garbage.
Right, where Ryan's like, I don't know, trying to pay bills or trying to like shine as somebody.
You got kids. Kids got to eat.
Which I get it, bro, but damn. And at one point I was questioning, like, is this just a series of dreams? Because
and it did say at the end. So at the end, he ends up, his mom convinces him to kill Lieutenant Chang, and he goes with one of his associates, and the associate is like, your mom said to kill everybody.
Right.
And he was like, whoa.
I ain't sign on to kill no kids.
No. And the other guy's like, well, mom said to do it. So he kills the nanny, and he goes to kill the kid, but then Ryan kills him.
Right.
But then at some point, he must go back to Lieutenant Chang, because there's this weird hazy vision scene where he is offering his hands to Chang. And there's a trivia that there was one additional scene that was shot that was not in the movie, and it was of my feeding pudding to Ryan because he has no hands.
Good Lord.
That would have been a throw my pen in the air, walk out of my office, and just shut the door. Like, no.
That would have been a definite, like, pandemic be damned. I'm going to find Ryan Gosling.
No.
And it's not even for the good reason. No, just knock on. Listen. I have put up with a lot of your bullshit.
You owe me. I watched this movie for free, but I still feel like you owe me.
You owe me something.
The time I spent. And I had to watch it twice, because the first time I got about 30 minutes into it, and I said, I don't like this.
I started it at like probably 7:00 last night, and then I had to pause it for about, like, I only got maybe 10 minutes in. I had to pause it, go do something, and came back, and I was just like, I don't want to watch this movie. And it was paused for like 20 minutes. I was like, I don't want to watch this movie.
You're like, I'm an adult. I don't have to. I'm a damn adult. I do not have to do this if I don't want to. And that's when I tried again today, and I was like, no, I'm fast forwarding through parts of this. I'm not gonna make it through this whole thing.
Well, I finally like ended up watching like a half an hour last night and fell asleep and then woke up to the end credits. Like, what?
That counts. That answers the question.
Right. Clearly, I was not down to watch this. So yeah, I mean, like this, I will say this much, that every shot of Ryan, I would very much like a full poster on a wall, because he looked so good in this film.
And he looked great in fluorescent neon lighting. Like,
God, yeah.
I'm like, red, blue, whatever, just whatever.
Like,
bathe him in light.
Yes, and even like the one scene that was in the daytime, and he was outside with a dog. I was like, and that, you're right, that looked like some sort of like men's cologne.
Didn't it? He's
Or
standing up against the
like,
wall with one foot on the wall. I'm
or like
come on.
Timex, like.
Calvin Klein.
Like, what are you selling?
Right? And then him walking through the club, I'm just like, look at him walk.
Oh God.
I mean, if someone said, here, sit down and watch, like, I don't even know how long it was.
It was only an hour and a half, which I will go ahead and like tip my hat to that. It's like, at least it wasn't like over 2 hours.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. But still, I need a plot. I need some dialogue.
And then
come on, we live in a technological age.
Right.
If I'm not working, I'm looking at my phone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing 50 million things while I'm watching.
Right.
I need the dialogue to tell me the story.
And preferably in English, because like the first maybe 15, 20 minutes is in, I'm not sure what Thai. Yes. And I was like, I don't remember this being a subtitle film. Did I choose the wrong one? Are there two versions?
Well, and I wrote down most overly dramatic opening titles I've ever seen. And I actually I stopped it and restarted it because I thought I picked the wrong movie.
Me too.
Because it came up in Thai.
Right.
And then it's in subtitles, Only God Forgives.
Right.
And I was like, did I pick the wrong? I don't know how I would have picked the wrong. Did my finger slip?
Right. Are there two versions? And then and it's subtitles until Ryan shows up. And I'm like, well, if they subtitle Ryan and he's speaking Thai, then I know I've picked the wrong movie. Mm-hmm. But then like he doesn't speak while
So I give him credit for that, because it really was like it was more of like a foreign language film almost, like an awesome Asian action film.
Yeah.
But I still need more dialogue.
But even then, like, yeah, they weren't saying nothing though. Like it wasn't.
No, and it almost seemed like Ryan was in one movie. Lieutenant Chang was in another movie. And Kristen Scott was just freeballing all over the place. I don't know what movie she was in. And the only thing I think she did was criticize Kristen Scott in the alley. I think that was the only time I heard her speak.
Yeah, I think she corrected Kristen at dinner when she was like, "My name's Mai."
Oh yeah.
And then she's like, "I apologize." And then because she didn't say anything when Ryan shows up at the club and he's like, "Let's be a couple."
Will you wear this? And here I'm thinking, is she bringing out a big old strap on? No, it's a black dress. Did you take her to your brother's? Did you take a prostitute to your brother's funeral? And then you took her out to dinner with your mom. I don't like this movie.
And what was the point of it? Like, it wasn't even like he actually. I didn't get the vibe that he was really into her, and it wasn't about. Was it just to get his mom off his back at dinner? Like, give her someone else to abuse?
I think it was. He's the only female she knows. Like, she's the only female he knows.
Yeah. So, there's pretty much. It's just more bemoaning where I am where this film is concerned. I just I enjoyed looking at it, and I enjoyed the final fight scene between Julian and Chang. I even enjoyed Ryan. I really enjoyed Ryan dragging that dude down the hallway by his teeth.
Yeah. But it's just too abstract for me on a whole.
It's not my cup of tea. Not my thing. Not my thing at all. So yeah, and yeah, you had mentioned that Ryan only speaks 17 lines throughout the entire movie, and so the writer and director Nicholas blah blah directed Chang by whispering into his ear, "You are God."
Okay.
So I assume Chang is supposed to be the God who forgives in this film, or its own.
He forgives a couple times. He lets he only cut off dude's hand for killing Billy.
Which
and
still,
then the guy who ordered the hit on him, he killed the hitman, but then he let the guy who ordered it go free because of his disabled son.
right.
He's got a soft spot. He's an honorable man.
Yeah, I mean, he does his dirt, but it's discriminately.
Yeah.
He knows there are folks who deserve, and there's lines, there's levels of this treachery, and this under the seedy underworld. But sure, whatever. You're God. Cinematographer Larry Smith has said that nearly the entire movie was shot with practical lighting, and that only one of two scenes were lit with traditional movie lights. So when I think of practical lighting, I'm thinking lamps.
Me too. And I'm
like ceiling light bulbs. And
so you're telling me these were all actual locations that you went to? The neon lights were actually in the buildings. You didn't have to add any other lights?
I mean, I could see that. I could see that in some, like where they had dinner. I was really taken by the restaurant, like the wall that was behind Kristen Scott, and just wondering how they did all that. But I guess, obviously maybe that was just their existing setup at that restaurant.
It makes sense too, because if you think about the scene in her hotel room when she's standing up against the wall right before he jabs her in the throat, it's very dim in there. There's no it's all light coming through that window, and yet it's beautiful. It's a really big hotel room.
Yeah, it's so big.
But that's interesting. I also read that it was shot mostly in chronological order, which is rare. Which I don't understand. When I was little, I always just thought that movies were shot in the order that we view them in. I never thought, why would you shoot it out of order?
I would just imagine budgetary reasons, like locations, that kind of stuff.
Light or
light weather. Setups, weather, the actors' availability. So there's a lot of that plays into it. But yeah, that is odd that they would do it mostly in chronological order, seeing as so many of the scenes take place in maybe two of the same locations.
Yeah, and it was shot in Thailand, so maybe it had to be shot in chronological order. Maybe they didn't have the locations for that long.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that could be it. A lot of rules and laws that we don't understand over there.
Nor do I want to, because I never want to watch it again.
I don't want to.
One and done.
Yeah. The score was not really. It didn't stand alone. It didn't stand on its own. It wasn't anything special, but it wasn't distracting either, which was great.
No. Well, it perked my attention at one point. I was like, what? What's going on?
I would say the fight scene.
And that was when he was dragging the dude through the hall. And I looked up and it said electronic music plays. I'm like, well, okay.
And most of the score was done by Cliff Martinez, who he does a lot of stuff that I am generally fond of.
It was all right.
Yeah, that's fine. Oh, all right. So, star rating. Movie. I give a 1.5, and that is all based on the looks of it.
I give it a 1 based on the looks.
Ryan, I give a 5, all based on the looks.
He's going to get a 9 for me. Because he even looked hot, all beat up.
Yes. How does that happen?
Like both of his eyes were barely open, and I was still like, "Well, hello, sir. Look at y'all, dirty and bloody, and look at you.
Who
I
needs
bet you
some help?
smell too, but that's okay.
You need some help. You need a
I got a
cuddle.
nice hot cloth here. I can let me get your temples."
And are you down to watch again? The only way I would let on mute, like it would play like if you're trying to set a scene at a party or something. Like that's
I would watch this if I had a very long overseas flight that I needed to sleep on.
guaranteed to put you to sleep.
I could see myself picking it because it's pretty.
Right.
It doesn't have a lot of words. I could close my eyes on the plane and just listen to music.
Right. If you're curious about this film, I would probably say just watch the trailer because I think the trailer is pretty much just kind of
Watch the trailer and read the Wikipedia summary
done.
because it literally tells you the entire movie. Like it's not a summary; it's a recap.
Thank you, Wikipedia.
Everything it said, I watched happen, but I didn't understand it when I watched it, but I understand it when I read it.
Yeah,
I
it's
was like, yes, that did happen. Yeah, okay, I get it now.
Well, I think it's just one of the reasonings that I just found it just so because it's so damn boring. Like it just takes so long to get to anywhere that I've stopped paying attention. I've stopped caring. I'm no longer trying to connect the dots. It's just like God, and I don't remember anybody. Then they introduce all these random characters. Like, okay, who's this guy, and why do I care? Like, why is this guy
gets tortured at the bar?
Yeah, it's like she
don't know who the hell he is.
Old girl wanted him to help her move some drugs. That was the one scene he was in that I recall. And then next thing you know, he's like, who gives a shit? Like, let's cut all this out.
Stop yelling. Like, stop moaning. I get you're being tortured, but it's a bit much. Like,
Sir,
stop.
let's just calm down, okay?
And everyone in these bars and clubs looks like a victim of, so they just all look shell-shocked. Nobody looks at anybody in the face. They don't say shit. No. They just look straight forward.
Yeah.
Yep. They don't even look at each other. Everybody's just staring straight.
It's like, why are you even here? Why'd you bother to come out the house?
Right?
Like, I don't know.
And then it ends with karaoke.
So long. Such a very long. Yeah, I think there was a whole thing with like some woman in karaoke, or she was just performing, and that's when I started fast forwarding things. Like, okay, we're not doing this. And again, like, so if you want to watch it, you can either watch the trailer and read the Wikipedia page, or it is streaming free on Amazon Prime right now. The Bechdel test, no, it fails. The Bechdel test. Wait,
Well, she does
dinner.
She does speak to Mai at the table, and they're not. Well, I guess she asked her about how many cocks.
Right.
So
I know. It's like a very disgusting. No, it doesn't.
By the skin of its
right. Yeah, it's like yes, very barely passes the Bechdel test.
Oh.
The Gosling gauge. Does he sing or dance? No,
sadly.
Is his character in a tragic relationship? Yes.
Yeah.
With both Mai and his mother.
Mm-hmm. And himself.
Yes. Is his character eccentric? No.
I don't know.
I would still say he's cracked in the head.
He's just fucked up.
Yeah. Does he disappear into his character? What character?
Like we said, he spent months training in Muay Thai. For what reason? He didn't even look like a fighter.
No, he didn't. He didn't even move like it. Like, he was like, yeah, the so-called defensive moves that he was doing, like that was just like some dude who was street fighting somewhere. Right? Like that's the awkward punches that he was throwing. Come on, son. He was just using an excuse to have the studio pay for his Mai Tai lessons or whatever. And character smug level, I would say 4 until his mom shows up. Then he's just
and then it's a -4.
Right. Okay, and so now we move on to the Book of Gosling. 100 Reasons to Love Ryan Gosling, number 67. When he's finished singing, 11-year-old Ryan then proceeds to dance with his sister Mandy to the CNC Music Factory track, Gonna Make You Sweat. Everybody dance now. Oh, there's something on on YouTube. It's like, watch
Is that
it.
when he was on Star Search or something?
I think so. I know part of you is kind of fascinated about being Ryan's stage mom. Yes, this is a bit creepy, but we all do it, so it's okay. No?
No.
68, his favorite movie is East of Eden. Excellent. I'm totally happy to watch James Dean wearing double denim with Ryan wearing anything or nothing whenever. To be honest, I watch any movie Ryan wants, especially if Ryan's in it. Speaking of, there's a photo of him with old girl. What's her name? Emma something? What is her name?
Emma who?
Emma, his co-star from...
Emma Stone?
Yeah, thank you. I don't know why I always forget her name. She's pregnant now is what I was seeing in the news.
And got married apparently at some point.
Whenever.
I didn't even know she broke up with Andrew Garfield. I'm old.
I didn't even know she was dating him. I'm older. So that was Only God Forgives.
And neither of us do.
No, the only other interaction with that film I will tolerate is if I get a good poster of some of the shots.
Yeah, I'll take the poster.
So next time we are going to watch The Big Short, which
I don't have hope for. I have no hope anymore. All hope is gone.
I know that this is more narrative. There is a plot. I've seen it. I don't remember if it was great, but it's one of those real like stacked with Hollywood white men.
Yeah,
So.
It's a bunch of. It's about investors. There's a lot of bad hair pieces in this.
So many
movie.
bad hair pieces.
They gave Ryan like the Just for Men treatment. His hair's way darker than it's supposed to be. They made Brad Pitt really old.
His wig is awful. And for whatever reason, it's like over 2 fucking hours long. Okay. So this might be a 2-part viewing.
And it's a true story. I feel like I can't shit on it as much if it's a true story. It's like it's somebody's actual life. Like I feel bad talking shit on somebody's actual life.
Right. All right. So join us next time for The Big Short. You can subscribe, follow, like us. Again, Down to Watch can be found on anchor.fm and Spotify. Thanks, Marcella, for sticking through another fucking Ryan vanity feature.
You're very welcome.